You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Let's get spooky. You found Earth Station Boo, where horror lives, legends linger, and laughs are always waiting. Stay with us. You know you're dying to listen. And welcome to the Spooky and Kooky podcast of Earth Station Boo, where we talk all things horror. Introducing your horrorholic host with the most a-most. We got our kick-ass Karen.
What up, my horrorholics?
I'm your terrifying T. And today, we are doing one of Karen's picks.
Yay!
Sea Fever. So, let's get spooky. Are you a horrorholic? Then take your horror obsession beyond the podcast. Check out Earth Station Boo's merch store for killer designs to let the world know that you live for the scares. You can also join our Discord and hang out with fellow little ghouls, talk monsters, movies, and midnight madness. And if you want to support the show directly, visit our throne to keep the screams and laughs coming. Find everything in our link tree, and remember, stay spooky.
Do you like animation? Do you like stuff? Well, do I have a podcast for you? It's Luke Ski's Animation and Stuff Podcast, where your host Luke Ski, an animation industry professional and comedy musician, talks with a different special guest each episode to discuss animation and or stuff, like the Muppets, for example. So, if you'd like to listen to this podcast, Luke Ski's Animation and Stuff Podcast, do so where podcasts exist.
Alrighty. So like I said, Karen took this film out. We were coming up with what we were going to cover this summer. And she's like, we have to do this film. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, let's do it. When Karen's like, we have to do this, I say yes. And I am very thankful that she did, because this is actually a very good movie. I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet, because this is something that's like right up my alley. So it's called Sea Fever. You take it from here. Tell people about the film.
The sea is a very scary, scary place. Okay. It is not. Mm-hmm. We have not explored the sea at all. So this place takes place on the ocean with some fishermen and women trying to make a living. We have a student trying to do her doctorate or whatever. Her what's it called?
Her thesis?
She has to go out in the field and
Her thesis?
Yeah, but she has to have field work.
Yes.
And so she's out there getting to know each other. Everybody get to know each other, and then they get attacked by this unknown creature. Mm-hmm. And it goes to hell from there, because weird shit is happening. People are acting crazy. People are killing themselves. It's just weird shit.
Absolutely weird shit.
We need to see a little bit more. And
this is an Irish horror film.
It is.
Yeah. This is actually the debuting director / writer movie for, what is her name? Neasa Hardiman. Mm-hmm. I feel like this film did not get the recognition it deserves. It had a budget of estimated $2.5 million and grossed about $2.5 million, which I thought that was interesting. I was like, really? It grossed the same as what it was budgeted, but
it's kind of weird, but
yeah. And it's about an hour, and it's about an hour and a half. So it's a pretty cool film. I don't want to say standard, because I don't think it's standard. But when you first saw this, what did you think? Like, and where does this also sit for you? Like, do you find it to be a creature feature? Do you find it to be an epidemic thriller? Because this did come out in April of 2020. Mm-hmm. Do you think this is an environmental drama? Maybe a little bit of all three? Where does it sit for you?
For me, it's more like it's a eco horror creature feature.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things in the environment that we do not know, and it's horrifying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because even we don't know that much about the rainforest, and they're still discovering new creatures every single
tribes.
Day. Yeah, new tribes, new creatures, and it's just, nature is really fascinating, but it's also very horrifying. And it's one of those things that the only reason why I enjoyed it so much because it steeps itself in reality, because we do not know that much about everything. We know more about space than we do about the ocean.
Yeah.
And the fact that there could be a creature like the one in Sea Fever makes it even more horrifying. But luckily, there's not a creature that I know of. However, there is a jellyfish that is slightly immortal.
Yeah.
Like once it stresses out, it reverts back into an infant of itself, and then it grows again. Stress it out again, it goes back. So slightly immortal unless you kill it. So there's things in the ocean that is very scary. So this is why I call it an eco horror / creature feature, because of the fact that we do not know everything we should know about our surroundings.
Yeah, I would put it as an eco creature feature, like because a lot of what this movie was kind of about was the environmental impact that we've had on the ocean, which is why this creature has come to where it has come. And so, like echo creature feature, for sure. I would say that. And like I said, you introduced this movie to me, and it's amazing. I actually really love this film. This is probably going to be one that I watch frequently.
Yeah, because I watched it more than twice. I've seen it like about 5 times already. Because you find so many things that you miss the first few viewings.
Yes, exactly. That's the big thing. Like I watched it twice, and there was stuff that in the second time watching it that I was like, "How did I not catch that the first time?" And then I'm like, "Okay, but I liked it." It's interesting, especially after you hear the interviews from both the writer and the cast when it comes to this film. Like they all have like amazing takes on this film.
Yeah.
It obviously establishes anxieties and uncertainties more through character-based tension than just some weird creature and the terror of the ocean itself. How well do you think, or how well does that character first approach work for this like horror story telling strategy for this film?
For me, it's like you get to know each character and you get to either love them or hate them through their personality and their actions. And so it makes it, more realistic in a way, because now I get to attach myself to a character and see how they live their life and whatnot. And I actually like having some movies you want to have character driven because you're like, what did you do in your life? One of the characters that I really enjoyed was Omid. Omid.
Yeah.
He was like one of my favorite characters because
he
of the
was
fact
great.
and he was a tinkerer, and he did fixed everything on the ship, and she was like, you could be an engineer. Why are you here? And I feel for him because there's stuff that you want to do in life, but you can't do it because of your circumstance.
Yeah.
And like I was drawn to him. And so like all the characters you get to see a little bit of impact in their life. And then once you see all the shit go down, you're like, no, don't die.
Right? I really liked how it was character tension driven and not just everybody's scared of the deep blue. Like, I feel like that, like, and I'm not saying that like there aren't horror movies that like utilize the unknown of the ocean, and that is they utilize it well. So it's like really great at like setting up this whole, scare and horror, storytelling, but it's kind of a cop out at the same time.
Yeah.
For certain films where it's like, well, obviously that's the scary part. Like, okay, like it kind of takes the wind out of it a little bit. But with this, there was so much. There was multiple things that built up to it. The personal superstitions of sailors and having women and redheads on board. And then also having where like the science person doesn't have all the answers. I truly loved that. I loved how she was constantly like, I don't know. I've never seen this before.
And also,
or I don't know. Like, I'm going to have to research this. And I thought that was great.
That was great. And also you got to see her relationships, her opening up to these seafarers. And it was really nice because
and vice versa.
Yeah, and there's like invited her to be part of the family, and it was like, oh,
yeah.
And then all shit went sideways.
Yeah, damn that last cheers. Yeah, but no, I think it was great that it made it feel more personal, and so like when each of the characters were getting knocked off, like you actually felt for each of them, like you know, even like the guy that you're like, oh, he's kind of a jerk. So you still were like, no, I don't want you to die that way. Like,
right? Like some of their deaths, you're like, no.
Right? Where you're just like, ooh, no. Ooh.
I mean, I cried at the the couple, Freya and Gerard, like they killed like she killed her husband and then killed herself. And I was like,
mm-hmm.
Because they knew, like all of them knew what they were up against. And it was just so sad.
Well, yeah, it was. This is basically, not basically, it's a fair comparison to a seafaring version of The Thing, but without a lot of the weird special effects or anything like that. And a lot of it's more conveyed through suggestion. And it's a little bit of a slow burner. I feel like it's more like a steady burner, not necessarily slow.
Yeah.
Is that restraint the strength for this film, or do you think it held it back in any way?
I didn't see it holding back because, you're on the sea. Not much happens on the sea.
Yeah.
And so it kind of reminds me of like, you're just on the sea, just enjoying it. Nothing's really happening, not really communicating with like the everybody else. And so for me, it was, the strength of it, the slow buildup, because you don't know what's happening. You know, you don't, and the special effects that they use was very minimal.
Oh, yeah.
And so it makes you wonder, like, oh, what's attacking you guys? Is it an octopus? Is it, a squid? Is it this, that, and the other? And so, it lets your imagination run wild until you see the beauty of the creature.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, that creature was beautiful.
It was. It was, actually. Do you want to describe the creature for everybody?
So the creature,
or do you want to keep it a surprise? Personally, I think we should do it. It's been 6 years. People haven't seen it. That's on them then.
Yeah. So the creature is this. I would describe it as a large jellyfish, and not just like a jellyfish that have those little tendrils. It has actually tentacles. That's how I describe it, because when they attach themselves to something, it starts burrowing a hole through. But it's like a jellyfish. I want to say it's like one of the, have y'all ever seen lion's mane jellyfish?
Mm-hmm.
Those things are beautiful. And it reminds me of a lion's mane jellyfish, but on a larger scale. I want to say if I had to compare it to something, it will probably be like an orca, if not bigger, because it looked like it was as big as the boat.
Yeah,
but
it's bigger.
It's bigger than boat, but it is so beautiful. The way it like moves throughout the ocean, and it has this bioluminescence to it that you should be scared of this because of the fact that it's so large, and the fact that it does strange things to people when it touches its slime. But it's also so beautiful that you're like, I just want to touch you.
Yeah, it kind of was like a jellyfish that like moved like a cephalopod.
Yeah.
That was like massive. it was a weird looking creature, but it was cool.
Yeah,
it was enjoyable to like. It was like, oh, that's actually kind of neat.
Yeah, and like I said, it's like this parasitic jellyfish-like creature that no one knows about. This is like one of the first sightings of it, but it's so beautiful that you want to touch it. Like, the slime things that kids like to touch and the little squishy things. You want to touch it. But at the same time, you're like, you're going to cause me to go crazy. But y'all need to like watch the movie just to see this jellyfish-like creature. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So this film has a lot of things that it gets compared with. So obviously, I've already mentioned it's like a C version of The Thing, but you also have Alien, you have The Abyss that it's been compared to. You've also had it compared to what happened with everybody in COVID when it first all came out and the quarantining and all that, because they did do quarantining in this film. Do you think these parallels are fair and do they hit? Or do you think it's kind of like nah, I see what you're saying, but it's not that, so it's not fair to compare it to those things.
I mean, I would say I would probably compare it to the Abyss or Leviathan, because that's also a sea creature that you do not know about or have any type of. Also, I would have to say, Herbert, Something Down. It's a movie called Something Down where these troglodytes or these sea bears are part of an experiment, and they're cute. If you've ever seen a sea bear, they're like this little teeny. They're so cute, just like the jellyfish, cute. And it's an experimentation that goes wrong. So I would compare it to Harbinger Down or The Abyss or Leviathan. And I would say that's a great comparison because of the fact that these are sea creatures that are of the unknown or sea creatures that been experimented on to make it, some of them were experimented on because they wanted to create some sort of subterranean weapon, or some of them just like, with the Abyss and with the Abyss and Leviathan. Well, the Abyss, more than like the Abyss, because you see a new creature, a new sea creature. Leviathan and Harbinger Down were creatures that were experimented on. But I would have to say that's a good comparison with those movies because of the fact that it's an unknown creature. And the whole quarantine of it is reminiscent of COVID because of the fact that you have some people who just want to leave. But if you leave, you risk contamination of everybody else. And without knowing how fast this thing could go, it was better to either, quarantine yourself or kill yourself.
Yeah. I think I can see the parallels for COVID, but considering that this film was literally written and made before COVID was even like a thought, I'm kind of the like, yes, you can compare it because that's what you should be doing if you're sick, is quarantining yourself and doing all that kind of stuff. But to compare it to like a pandemic thing, I was like,
I mean, it's not a pandemic.
I can see the parallels. I can see the parallels. However, I wouldn't compare it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, say it's like the whole pandemic of it, is because it seems to attack, because you saw the other boat.
Yeah.
The first boat, and they knew that they were going to die. And they knew that if they take it, to this parasite to land, it could be like the end of the humanity. So they chose death. So if other ships get attacked, well, I don't think this creatures willingly attack people, because it's the fact that I'm just a sea creature. I'm just like floating through the water.
It's like shark attacks. They're not technically going after humans. It just happens.
Yeah, it just happens. And so every single ship has that, has a responsibility. Do we go back to land, or do we risk going back to land, or do we just quarantine ourselves until we know for sure no one is infected? So it's a mini quarantine. I mean, it was not a full-blown pandemic. I mean, I wouldn't compare it as, a full-blown pandemic, but as isolated cases.
Yeah.
Like measles, because most of the measles are like different isolated casing. Ebola right now is all in Africa, but it's like in the Congo region. You're getting isolated cases. So, yeah.
No, I totally get that. I don't think I would personally compare it to any of the other movies either. Are there similarities? Yes, but I feel like it's like, we've used this analogy a number of times. They're all fruit. So, but that's kind of where it's like, okay, they're all fruit. They're all citrus, but like a grapefruit and an orange and a lemon are three very distinctively different things, you know? So I kind of put it into like that kind of wheel where it's like, yeah, this is an eco creature feature, but that's kind of where it ends. Does it have a lot of the same things so it can be classified as that? Yeah, but like I feel like it was a very unique story, and the way it was told and everything I thought was kind of its own thing.
Tardigrades, that's what they were. In Harbinger Down, there was tardigrades.
That's it.
Little
That's it.
cute little sea bears, water bears. They're so cute. Until it what they did in the movie and they like made it into a monster and you're like, oh fuck. You're no longer cute.
Yeah. Yeah. So this film was actually shot on an actual boat, and then they did mimic the inside of the boat on a sound stage because the inside of the boat is just too small for them to have the cameras, have the actors, and have everybody who needs to be operating all the things. So they recreated it in a way that like they could have people where they needed to have people. They had genuine Irish accents. There was sober casting. The film has a lot of very authentic and persuasive like look and feel to this film, and it's because of a lot of the attention that they put into it. How does that work for this film, and especially for the horror aspect of it for you?
I mean, so everything is a character in this movie, from the ocean to the trolley, to the people, trawler. Um, so I actually really like the fact that they kept, the trawler, what a trawler is supposed to look like. Not all trawlers going to be like all, modernized and stuff like that. You could tell, this trawler has been gone through, weathered some storms.
Oh yeah.
And you could tell the crew, especially the captain and her husband, have gone through so much shit. Like, they're trying to make money. They're trying to keep their dream alive, and they're trying to pay their crew. So the trawler is kind of representation of them in a way because of what they went through and what the trawler has gone through. And then you have, the claustrophobia of the inside of
Yeah.
the trawler, because I don't think I could be in a ship like that.
Yeah.
So everything works well with each other because, like I said, the ocean itself is a character, the trawler itself is a character, and the people themselves are the character, and they kind of represent each other very, very well because you have hostility,
Yeah.
with some of the people. The ocean's going to be what the ocean's going to be. Okay. The ocean is going to be hostile, versatile, indifferent, going to eat you up or spit you out. But the trawler shows you that the people that live there are the same as the trawler because of what they went through.
Yeah.
And the restraints of what the cinematographer did, what the director did, what everything else did, because I love the shots of the trawler outside. And I can only imagine, going inside the ship and everybody's like this. Like, no, we need to build something. But even if they built it, you still feel that whole claustrophobia. You still feel claustrophobic because everything is so tight.
Yeah.
So with the visual effects, with the costuming, with the Irish folklore, it works very well as a horror.
Yeah.
I don't think, it would be the same story if you took, something out of it, especially the cinematography part of it, because some of that cinematography, I was like, dude, you need to back the fuck up. Y'all up in my space. But I know you have to be up in the space because we're in a trawler and down below is like very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, y'all need to back up. Just back up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful. Like, the outside is so beautiful that you're like, did they really use a boat? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. You don't have to speculate. They did use a boat.
Yeah.
On the inside, they probably replicated the inside, because we don't know what the inside looked like really. Because, even though they use a real boat, they could have changed the layout of it.
They didn't. So
they didn't?
No. So there's an interview. I want to say it was Colander interviews. I'll send it to you. It was actually a really cool little interview. The writer and director, they ended up getting this trawler. The couple who owns the trawler were with them on set, on the trawler, like they were with them through the entire process of the boat and helping the actors and actresses work with the boat and do all the things. And then they took the layout of the trawler and then put it onto the sound stage so that way they could set it up. Because there were some shots of the actual trawlers inside, but they had to like readjust it for the sound stage.
That's amazing. And the fact that they have the owners with them. So this is how you do it. This is how, because it made it feel like so realistic that I didn't, nothing to, I don't know how a trawler works, but my brother was in the Navy. So when he starts talking Navy talk, I'm like, okay. And so when they started doing what they're doing, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it didn't really take me out,
So the husband of the couple, he was the guy who was in Ever After. He talked about, he's like, I felt so bad because I felt like I was mucking everything up. But like this couple was like, no, you're doing it right here. Here, we'll show you how to do it. And so they were there to like help keep the authenticity in there. It's one of the reasons that like I actually like it felt real watching it, because they were moving the way that you would move if you were on a boat like that. They were doing they were doing things because they had people who were like, that's not how you would carry that. Like, that's not how you would pull that, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, that's awesome that like, like they had that real life experience, because like they actually worked the boat for like, I think he said like a week that they were like on the boat working it. And so like they actually were be able to like do the scenes and making them feel right.
I mean, that I think if you're going to do sort of like realistic movie, that's, you should be able to work on that what you're supposed to do for like a week or two so you get a feel for it. Because I didn't know, like, the transition from, place to place, hanging off of stuff, it felt real because it felt like they'd been doing this for years.
They'd been doing it for days at least.
At least they were doing it for days, and at least they had instructions saying, hey, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. I'm amazed that, because I will put myself on the line. I'll put my body on the line. It's like, I have to do what? Okay, show me how to do it.
Yeah. And you talked about the claustrophobia. The wife of the married couple, the owners of the boat, she even said, she's like, no, like, she goes, I know, like, we weren't inside the boat. She's like, because I had been there, but she goes, it still felt claustrophobic even on the soundstage. She goes, so the way that you guys set it up, it still felt like we were on the inside of the boat. So it was like, okay, that's cool that like, even as like an actor, you can say, no, I still felt like I was in that space, Yeah,
because you want to be able to feel what it feels like from location to location. And I'm not claustrophobic, but at the same time, I'm like, you all up in my bubble. Like COVID, I'm saying I didn't care for COVID, but COVID was the best thing, because I'm like, stay 6 feet away from me. Don't be all up in my bubble.
Yeah.
And then, when the restrictions lifted, I was like, oh, people.
I think there's a lot of people who after COVID, they were like, oh man, I really like not having everybody and their brother up in my space. They're like, I didn't realize this was an issue.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that this movie felt real added to a lot of the horror. There were aspects of it where you're just like, ooh, that gives me like the heebie-jeebies. Like, okay, like that's a little unnerving, and it worked. It worked because it was one of those, you felt isolated, you felt trapped, you felt all the things that you were supposed to feel by watching it. And the cinematographer, O'Brien, chef's kiss. There were some really cool shots that he pulled off.
When you talk about the visual effects of it, like the beauty of the creature, even though it kind of reminds me of
the bioluminescence,
nature itself. Like, the prettier the creature usually means the very dangerous the creature can be. And this creature was very beautiful, and you're like, oh, and then you realize, oh shit, don't touch me.
Yeah, I mean, it like there's a shot where you see that eerie bioluminescent light in the black water, and it puts you on edge, where you sit there and you're like, that's pretty. However, we're like in Finding Nemo, we're more like Marlin instead of Dory. We're like, don't go towards the light. No, 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 don't go towards the light. But the light's so pretty.
I know, right? It's like, like the jellyfish kind of reminds me of the poison dart frog because,
Yeah.
those things are very beautiful. And you're like, I want to touch it. And you're like, oh, fuck. And, that's what it reminds. Let's talk about the ocean, okay? So the blue-ringed octopus.
Mm-hmm.
It is the cutest little creature ever. But if it stings you,
Mm-hmm.
it can cause death.
Yep.
Or paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
But death.
Yeah. The main thing it does is death.
Death. Like,
good thing Bella isn't on this episode.
Like, the prettiest animals in the world possess the most deadliest traits, and you're like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah. And to think, we're right up there. Because you're gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
Righty. So let's kind of talk about the actors in this. I will give the entire ensemble like a round of applause, man. They knocked it out of the park. I think they all did a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have Hermione played the essence of blushing innocence, who becomes the only sensible character on board. How does that arc work? And do you think she carries the film as the lead for this horror film?
Yeah, I would have to say she carried the film as what she was supposed to do. She went out there as a student, probably never dated, and when she met Johnny, it was like, oh,
yeah.
And she was the scientist who was like, I don't. Let me do some research, man.
Yeah.
I knew she was an actress, but playing a student and also playing a student that does research, it came out really well. Even my sister-in-law was like, that's actually pretty damn accurate.
Yeah.
Because my sister-in-law used to do
research studies.
She was she wanted to become a marine geologist. I think that's what she said.
So she wanted to study the ground in the ocean.
Yeah.
She also
cool. She had to tag fish. She had to go and scuba dive and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, that's
one thing I've never gotten is my scuba license.
Really?
Surprisingly, yeah. It's on my bucket list.
Oh, okay. So, so for me, she carried it very well. I wouldn't think there would be anybody else that could, carry it as an actress.
Yeah.
But me, I think she carried it really well. I don't know her long history of acting. I know she was looking at her list. She was in, Triple X Return of Xander Cage.
Yep.
I didn't realize that, because sometimes some people blend in so well with their surroundings or with the movie that they're doing, you just don't recognize who they are. But then again, this was made, Xander was made in like 2015 or something like that.
Yeah.
But she's a young actress. So she's like, what, now? She's like 30 years old now?
Something like that. Yeah.
So, yeah. So she carried it really well. And I would love to see her in more things. If we could get her in more things, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Fear Below is a shark movie that she just did last year. We can do that next year for Shark Week.
Oh, okay.
Slaughterhouse Rules. She was in Star Wars.
Was she in Star Wars? Because I've seen Star Wars.
Star Wars Episode 8. She was an A-wing pilot.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't like a main character, but still. She was in Star Wars. She was also in Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Right? But I think she did a great job. I think she made the character believable. She knew enough to know that she needed to hide her red hair and did that kind of in a productive way that it was you sat there and you truly believed that she's understood the scorn of being a redhead at times. But speaking on authority on the things that she did know when it came to the marine side of everything, where she was like, why are there pilot whales? There shouldn't be pilot whales here. We're on a fishing line. The whales shouldn't be anywhere near here.
Yeah, that was like the first indication of, oh shit, something's going to happen. What?
Like she did good with making it. She made it feel real as like a person of that age, of that experience, being in that spot and that happening. She said it the way that like it could have been said.
Yeah.
Versus like sometimes you'll see a scene like that and that person, the scientist person, is kind of like a know-it-all. Is like, we must not be on the right path because this wouldn't happen. Blah, 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 blah. And she was just very much like, what's up, guys? Because that's weird.
Like, hey, that's kind of weird over there. Why is that over there?
That shouldn't be happening.
Like, and that it shouldn't be. And then you realized, oh, somebody fucked up somewhere.
Yeah, and then you find out that the male owner was like, yeah, I took us off the normal path so we could get a better catch. And it's like,
So this is your fault.
Yeah. I think she did a great job.
Oh yeah, she did a great, wonderful job as a student. It was really believable. Like I said, my sister-in-law watched it. She's like, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah. I don't know if I could be like, scuba diving at those cold waters, but
Now, I will say this. She ended up kind of being the hero of this. She was definitely the heroine, even though she did perish, unfortunately.
But that was her choice because she knew.
It was her choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did the right thing and in ensuring the survival of the last member. But a lot of times in like monster movies like this, it's the guy who is the savior and is saving the damsel in distress kind of thing. How refreshing was it for this reframing where she was the hero?
Oh, I was sad, but I knew it had to come to a point of either her or Ahmed. But she knew she got hurt and she knew she was already infected. And so she willingly went down to the jellyfish creature. She sacrificed herself for him and for all humanity. Because, it is very refreshing because it's not a man that's saving the day. It's a woman saving the day. It's very rare to have a woman save the day in a horror movie. Very rare. I mean, I could count how many times I've seen horror movies, and I'm like, well, a lot of men have been saving these people's.
Yeah. I mean, you might have the final girl, but at the end of the day, you don't have
like, I mean, it's not like, Ripley. She was the heroine. Resident Evil, Alice, she was a heroine. And so it's very rare to see a female heroine in a horror movie. And it was very refreshing and I loved it, but I hated the fact that she had to kill herself. But, she knew what would happen if she went back to
the mainland. Yeah. Or if she stayed on the boat.
Yeah.
Like just even staying on the boat. Like, she could have easily infected him. And, a lot of it wasn't even like she was worried about like spreading it to like the mainland. But at the same time, she was sitting there going, you have a kid. You just had a kid.
Yeah.
You need to go home to your kid. Let me exit out peacefully and let you get to safety. And so
that was like the ultimate sacrifice, really. Most people no, I won't do that. And it's like, you're not in that situation because you are never placed in that situation. I felt for her and I knew like if that was me, I wouldn't want to bring it back to my family.
No.
And so not only was she like, the final girl, but she was also the heroine of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because she was like doing the research. She was, becoming family and you just felt bad. But at the same time,
like she had her whole life ahead of her. Yeah. She was in like a prime spot to like live a good life.
Yeah. I mean, she was going to do her thing with, school and stuff like that. And in a way, if she would have survived and was quarantined in the ship, she could have wrote a paper like, yeah, this is what we have in the ocean. So, but she didn't because she knew she was infected and they didn't have a ship left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's either, I infect Ahmed or I'll go ahead and peace out.
Exactly. So Connie Nielsen played Freya. And then Dougary Scott played Gerard. And they're the couple who owns the boat. I think both gave solid, incredible performances. I mean, Nilsson, she adopted an Irish accent for the role. She does not have an Irish accent naturally.
No, she
I
does
believe
not.
she's Scandinavian,
She's Danish.
Danish. Okay. So she's got like when I listen to her interviews, her accent is thick. Like it is not a does she have an accent? It's very much like she has a Northern European accent of some sort.
Yeah.
So for her to take on this Irish accent and she pulled it off. Like she pulled it off really well. I was actually very impressed with it. How well do you think this couple served for the story? Because they caused a lot of tension through the story
Oh, they
as
did.
well
Yeah.
as but how did you feel about it?
I felt that, having the couple there, because you have to have the owners.
Mhm.
I mean, and they're trying to survive. They lost their child,
Yeah.
trying to survive, trying to make money for their people. And the tension was really high
Mhm.
because, she wants to follow the rules.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck it, we need to make money.
Yeah.
Bitch, we can't do that. I mean, you have to follow the rules.
Mhm.
And you felt bad because on one hand you want to abide by the rules, but how are you going to make money if you abide by the rules?
Mhm.
But you respect it. On the other hand, you have her husband who did not abide by the rules because, hey, we need money, we need to save our ship, we need to pay our people.
Yeah.
You kind of respect that, but at the same time you're like, does your wife know?
Yeah.
And then when she finds out, you're like, oh fuck.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
that tension between them, was really good. I actually really loved the tension between them. And it kind of it pulled in everybody at the same time
Yeah.
because they're like, fuck,
Yeah.
we didn't know this was going to happen. Damn it.
Mhm.
And so now they have to, like, in a way, backtrack and try to fix their mistake, but you can't really fix a mistake that has already been happened because of the fact that you're in a restricted area, and now because you're in a restricted area, you got infected.
You have some splaining to do.
This is like your actions have consequences, and that
Yeah.
was his action, and that's
Mhm.
their consequence. And if he would have played by the rules, we wouldn't have a story.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't. I like how full circle their story was because
Yeah.
when you first meet them, it's like obvious, like their team, they're united front, a whole thing, and then like there's that tension, there's the divide a little bit, and then it comes down to the end,
Oh yeah.
and they come together and they do this thing together. They're like, you know what, we FAFO, we're gonna do this right. We're gonna do what's best for the crew.
Yeah, and
So, boom,
you
boom,
felt
peace out.
you felt for them because they lost. You don't know how long ago they lost their child,
Yeah.
but they lost their child. So in a way, it was kind of like we're gonna go see our child,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
just like
Kind of like the Sinners deal.
yeah, you're like, we weathered the storm, just like our
Mm-hmm.
ship. So now,
Yeah.
that's the sad. I'm sorry.
It is sad. It is sad. I think the whole ensemble was kind of great. They kind of brought a trawler crew kind of to life. The writer I talked about in one of the interviews I saw how, she talked to people who work on the boats and wanting to understand what it's like to be on the boat. And they're like, oh yeah, we superstitions out the yin yang. So like not having redheads on board, things like that. Financially being, I don't want to say desperate because I don't feel like that's a fair word, but having to hustle so they can make the money that they need to make within a certain time frame because they don't get a steady paycheck every week. It's based off of whatever they're able to bring in, but they have to work tight, work well together. So they're a tight knit group. They're a family, in a way. And so with that, they are suspicious of outsiders. How well do you think this cast brought that reality to life on the screen for this film?
They did a really good job because, when, Sabine took off her hat and there was like, oh my God, it's a redhead. We're going to have like bad luck. Jesus Christ. And, and they're very weary of her because they're like, why are you really here? Are you like some sort of inspector? You know, but,
It's Siobhan, by the way.
Shaban?
Siobhan.
Siobhan.
Siobhan. So the
Shaban.
V, the B is pronounced like a V.
Shaban.
Siobhan.
I don't do Gaelic very well.
Yeah, Gaelic but yeah.
I mean, it is very, effective, like using this,
I just double checked it because I'm like, I'm pretty sure that it's pronounced Siobhan, but I'm like, let me double check it.
yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, everything, fits very well with the cast build this whole world very well because of the fact that
They do.
you have your superstition, they're all desperate financially. You already had your like family that's already, built with the crew member, and then you have this outsider come in, you're like,
Yeah.
that's what it seemed like. They're like, how long is she supposed to be staying here? Okay. But they warmed up to her and she warmed up to them.
Oh
And so
yeah.
she was slowly coming into the family, slowly learning their routines. And that was like really cool. I mean, they were slowly learning each other's routines. And someone's like, turn off that light. Okay. So she was like in the bed, reading or something. Like, turn off that light. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like, an older brother yelling at a younger sister. Stop doing that. And I actually like kind of like that because I was like, you're turning into an older brother role. That's great.
Oh,
And everything is very desperate in this movie.
yeah.
And I actually liked it. I liked how they all played off each other very well.
Yeah.
I liked how they
There was
build their world.
There was the one older lady, and the moment that I knew like Homegirl was going to be accepted by the crew no matter what was when she pulled her hat off and she's like, well, we're going to have to deal with it now anyways.
Yeah.
You're here, enjoy your beer, it will be fine. And then they had that
Johnny's aunt, I think.
yeah. And then they had that beautiful moment in like the mess hall, or the little food seating area on the ship.
Yeah.
And everybody was there. They're all celebrating the win that they had that day. And you could see how even the outsider was welcomed in.
Yeah.
And it was kind of beautiful. It was one of those like, aw, it all worked. And then you're like, but I know it's not going to last because it's a horror film.
Oh yeah, it's like it's a horror film. They're not gonna last. And that actress, she's been in a lot of stuff.
She has
a lot of horror stuff, if if I remember correctly. And I'm like, damn, you're like a horror queen almost.
Yeah, but isn't it like a lot of like either like it's like super like indie kind of thing or it's European?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say like I was looking at it and I'm like I know I that these about these movies, but I don't know if like the typical American horror fan would know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I know she was in the movie with Nicolas Cage. At one point, I remember seeing her in that movie, and I also remember seeing her in the newer movie called Tarot.
Yes, she was in that. She has got in her older age, she has gotten more like widespread, stuff. But where does this movie land for you though, as a aquatic horror?
It owns its place. Like I would watch this thing. Oh, I would watch this thing. It will be on my rotation. Like I would probably like put it up there with I'd have to say this is like Jaws is my first one. The Thing,
which that's fair.
Yeah, The Thing will be my second one. I would have to say this would be my third one because I've seen a different type of aquatic.
I would put that
aquatic horror.
It would be in my top 5.
Yeah, I would say like Sea Fever will be like the third one, and then Leviathan. If you have not seen that one, that's actually a pretty good movie.
It's on our list.
Yeah, Leviathan is like actually my fourth one, and like I will put it on, and be like, yay, and my fifth one, I'll have to say would be Harbinger Down.
Okay,
but yeah, I would definitely like put this in rotation. Okay. It deserves its own little. It deserves a spot in the aquatic horror. I don't care what people say. It deserves a spot.
It does. This solidly sits in my top 5. Jaws is always going to be number 1. The Thing, the basically after Jaws, it's kind of whatever my mood is the order that it goes in.
Mm.
But this is now in my top 5. Easily in my top 5. So even though, yes, this is a creature feature, it does showcase a good chunk of body horror in this with like the exploding eyeballs and whatnot. So which moment was like the most unsettling for you? And then on top of that, how do you feel like the body horror actually worked with this being kind of mostly a creature feature?
So the body horror, okay, so like the first death was really horrific for me because dude, Johnny goes blind and the next thing you know his eyes explode. And I was like, no.
And it was so quick. I think the quickness is what bothered me, where I was like,
yeah.
Can we not just be like, why can't you see, homeboy? Like
yeah, like what's going on here?
Can we process that before we dive into the exploding eyeballs?
Yeah, that death kind of hurt me because he was he was helping, homegirl open up, and it was like, oh, you wanted to have like another couple on board, and that hurt me a lot. But the other scenes that happen, because it's not truly, because when you think of body horror, you think of like The Society or Juncho Ito's Saw. This even though this is body horror, it's like very minimal because the creature is what is infecting people and it's what's causing them to go crazy.
So do you think the body horror adds to it, or do you think it kind of subtracts from it?
I mean, it adds because you want to see, for me, it adds because the fact that there's different ways for people to die.
Yeah.
There's different ways for people to get infected. And so he got a cut on his hand. You don't really know how his aunt got infected because it didn't show her getting infected. So it could a single touch, a drink of water, such and such.
I thought that's how she got infected, was that she had some of the water.
Yeah.
Before before she realized that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah. And so it was weird, because you want to see them get infected so you can understand how they got infected. Homeboy, the one who was taking a shower and got bit.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for him too, even though he was a jackass. I was like, oh, damn, dude, you didn't have to die like that.
It's like, yeah, you might not have been our favorite, but like, we didn't want you to go.
It was like a slow death too.
Oh yeah, his was bad.
I was like, I felt bad for him. I was like, fuck. Like, I'd rather have it quick and, and done with, but no, he lingered. I was like, fuck. Everyone else is like, either getting killed or killing themselves.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, I guess. But, at least they get to choose. If you're killing yourself, at least you get to choose how you die.
Yeah.
And if you got accidentally murdered, it was an accident, really. She was trying to defend herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you needed that body horror to see how bad the infection could have gotten.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. Johnny was probably, that one was the one that I was like, ooh, wasn't quite ready for that.
I really was not ready for that. If anything, I was like, the other dude was going to die first, but no, Sudi, I thought he was going to die first. But no, it was Johnny. And I was like, no, Johnny.
Right? Well, like, so like they had gone onto the boat and they saw like the one guy with his eyes gone, and they thought like somebody had done it to him or he had done it to himself. It was like kind of like in one of those situations that they were like, did he do that to himself? Did
they do it? What's going on? Did
somebody do that to him? But he's not being restrained. Like, there was a lot of questions when it came to like when they discovered that body. But then like when you got to that and you're just like, oh, okay, so that's how it happened. But it was just like, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, done. And you're just like, oh. And then he was gone. And he was like dead instantly. And you're just like,
and you're also like, is everybody going to die like that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
All their eyeballs. And then you see like the different deaths that they have. And you're like,
yeah,
I don't know if I want y'all to die like, like him.
Yeah.
Because it was
just so sudden. I think that's just all it was. Like, you didn't have time to understand that he was truly infected. Like you did, but you hadn't had time to come to terms with it. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, you didn't because you didn't know what was going on really because he had a cut on his hand.
Yeah,
And
that
you're
was
like,
it.
and then his eyeballs explode, and you're like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see these creatures, and you're like, ew,
Yeah,
what was in you, sir?
yeah,
And then you start putting the pieces together. You're like, oh,
yeah.
remember that dude in that ship with no eyeballs?
And it's like, ooh,
And then,
oh, that's what happened to him. Ooh, that's not cool.
no, it was not cool. It was not cool.
The creature is presumed unkillable and afraid of fire. How do those specific character rules add or limit the horror in this?
Don't mean, fuck. You can't kill it? Shit.
Right?
I mean, dude, no, that's very horrific because
Mhm.
even if it's like, because they use a flashlight in the eyes to see if the, parasites are going around everywhere. That's a pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the creature itself is kind of like, you can't kill it. How do you destroy it if you can't kill it?
Yeah.
And if you do manage to kill it, if you like, say if you blow it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do manage that means you just release all these little larvae.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Hydra situation where it's like you got rid of the head, but then like two more come out. Like, like,
So if we shouldn't kill it then, like,
yeah,
should we just let it be? I mean,
yeah.
like I said, this kind of reminds me of that little damn jellyfish that when it gets stressed out, it goes back to reverting little baby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's horrific because of the fact that you don't know how to kill this, animal. Yeah, and it's afraid of fire, but can you put fire, in the ocean?
Right. That was my thing. I'm like, fire, yeah, but anything that comes out of the water is not going to like fire. I'm like,
Yeah. Like everything hates fire. I mean,
yeah.
this
I
is
was like,
human
I'm like,
nature. I mean, it's nature.
that rule I thought was a little silly, but the unkillable portion or the slightly unkillable thing, that I was like, oh, that's interesting. That is a unique way of handling this. Okay. Like you have to kill it in a very specific way, and it's kind of too big for you to do it that way. So, okay.
Right?
Like that makes sense. Like, okay, I get it. So overall, would you find this to be a scary film? Or would you find this to be like a deeply unsettling film?
It's deeply unsettling
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said earlier, you do not know what's in the ocean. We do not do a lot of study in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
We know more about space than we do our own ocean.
Yeah.
We don't even know if there's like, a megalodon still exists. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? We discover so many creatures. It's just not, it's just unsettling. Like I just discovered that there's a snail that lives near lava underwater volcanoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? There are sharks that live near there too. And I'm like, what? So it's like very unsettling. Very unsettling. It doesn't make
So
me want to go in the water. If I go in the water, it's gonna be clear water so I can see everything.
that's fair. That is
I
fair.
want to be able to see everything.
I think that this film would definitely fuel the Jaws people's fear. Like those who are like, not going in the ocean because of Jaws. Then they're like, and this confirms it. Like I'm definitely not going
I
in the
mean, yeah,
water.
it's like
I don't know.
I don't
If
mind
that's
the
how I
water.
go, that's how I go.
I don't mind it. I don't mind the water. I want to see where everything is at. It has to be crystal clear. Like, okay, well, there's a fish going by. Cool. Don't touch me.
Yeah, that
Oh,
doesn't bother me that much.
there's a little jellyfish. Okay, cool. You're over there. I
Yeah,
have to be able to see it.
surprisingly, that doesn't bother me too much.
What, jellyfish in the water? Yeah.
I mean, I avoid them because they hurt. Having been stung by them, they are not comfortable. But
Yeah, apparently you shouldn't pee on it either. Like,
no, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
Just water.
Yeah,
Put water on it.
Yeah, they like a lot of like the lifeguard stations will have like distilled water that they'll pour over it.
I wonder where that whole peeing on it come from.
It was probably actually somebody who didn't have water, and so they peed instead of having water. And since jellyfish were in the ocean, you can't go and pull water from there because you might pull a jellyfish. You know, you need something to rinse it off. You pee on it. Like if that was like a thing, yeah, but it's not gonna fix it the way people think it's gonna fix it. Like you actually need to put stuff on it. It hurts. It hurts like a bitch. But
at least, you know, you didn't have one of those jellyfishes that would kill you.
Yeah, thankfully. But I don't know. I've been in the ocean since I was like a little kid.
That's because you live in Florida.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but I'm also I don't want to say I'm comfortable with death because I feel like that's a misnomer. But like, if that's how I go, that's how I go.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have preferred ways of going? Yes, absolutely. However, I'm going to go how I'm supposed to go. And it is not for me to decide for the most part. You know? Now, like I said earlier, in the beginning of this episode, this is the debut of Hardiman, who not only wrote this, but she also directed this. How do you think she did for her first major thing? Like she's done some documentaries, she's done episodes of like Jessica Jones and Happy Valley, but like this is her first picture. How do you think she did?
I think she did a good job. I mean, there was like no wasted dialogue, there was like no wasted moment.
No.
I mean, the whole thing kept me on my seat, on the edge of my seat.
Mm-hmm.
She did her direction really well. Everything was perfect. I mean, there probably was like some plot hole somewhere, but I didn't see it.
It wasn't enough of a distraction for us to be like, hey, wait, I got a question. Why can you answer this for me?
Yeah.
Like there was nothing that you felt like you needed to have answered after the movie concluded.
Yeah, it really did. I really did. Like, would I like a follow up? Like what would happen if it got on land? You know.
Well, what happened to Homeboy? Like, did he go to their version of the Coast Guard and go, yo?
Like, hey, y'all might want to quarantine me for like, I don't know how long, because this is what happened. You may not believe me.
There's a big scary thing out there. It killed us all.
Like, don't go in the ocean.
Yeah, like
I mean, if you want to go in there, that's where our ship is.
Yeah.
Send down radar.
Yeah. Like what happened with him? Like that would be like my like really my only thing would be like, okay, what happened with him? What happened when he got back to land? Did he get back to land? Because we don't even know if he got back to land. So it's like,
no, we don't. We don't.
Like, there's all of that, but like, I feel like that's good storytelling. You know, like
I want to know if he got back to land, if he got back to his family. What if he got really, what if he actually got infected too? Like, what would happen then?
Yeah, exactly. I think she did a great job, especially for like a first timer.
Oh yeah.
She hit at all the things that needed to be hit. She was thorough without being overdone. Yeah. Without it being overdone. She made it feel real. She fought for the fact that Siobhan did not know everything. Yeah. There was multiple people who told her she needed to fix that in the script. They're like, no, she should have the answer. And she's like, how would she have the answer? She's like, no, she's not going to have the answer. It doesn't serve the story for her to know what the problem is on something that she's never seen or experienced. No. And it's like, good for you, Queen. Like, sticking up for your story.
And also, wasn't Freya in a rowing boat at that point too, at the end?
I thought she had killed herself.
No, if I remember correctly, she stayed with her husband until he killed himself, but I believed Freya left the boat.
She left the boat, but I thought she left the boat so she could kill herself. And so everybody else could stay on the boat. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Because I know Savine and Ahmed, they got onto an inflatable boat. And poor, I'm like, how you gonna be, Ahmed, I'm like, you can't swim? You are
A lot of fishermen can't swim.
really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But also like,
Surprisingly.
yeah. But
But
also like
their idea is if I have to swim, that means something went wrong.
oh yeah, it's true. But then again, I'm like, if I have to swim, then yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna die because I sink.
What do you want to see from her next? Do you want her to tackle like another like creature feature?
I think she should do like another another echo horror.
Okay.
Because she did a really good job on this one. And I would love to see like something, another one from her. Like the only other echo horror that we've done was the one with the fungus.
Oh, there was that one. Yeah, I was going to say the book.
Yeah. Yeah. But there was that fungus, and I would love to see like something else as well as another echo horror.
Yeah.
Like what if, there was that one, The Happening, but that wasn't that good. I want to see her like tackle something like that, but I love you, M. Night Shyamalan. You might not listen to this, but I love you. But The Happening
we love you.
Not the best. Like The Happening was not the best. Okay, that was.
It could have been executed slightly better.
Yeah, it could have been executed slightly better, but I would love to see like another echo horror where I just want to see another echo horror because that is like an untapped horror.
That's a subgenre that could really, really explode.
Yeah, it could, especially movie wise, especially if you know how to translate it really well.
Yeah.
To the silver screen.
Yeah. So one of the things this movie kind of tackles, and we've kind of talked about it a little bit, especially with Siobhan sacrificing herself for it all. There's the conflict between like individual survival instinct and then the collective responsibility. How effective was this film in amplifying that, especially with the horror like undertones that it had?
It shows you human nature because you have some people who understand the risk, and you have some people who rather do self-survival than understand the greater picture. So she does that really well with showing human nature and what we could do, because like I said, as humans, part of us wants to save humanity and the other part wants to save ourselves. So I actually liked how she showed the dual side of it. I mean, you have a lot of movies that do the same thing, but this one I really appreciate because of the fact that you feel the tension, you feel people who understand, like near the end, closer, in the middle where, Sabine was like, we need a self-quarantine. Like, no, we don't have to, because once we get on land, they'll have medicine for us. And nah, bitch, this is something new. I understand you want to, take Sudi back home because he's hurt and stuff. But at the same token, this is a new type of species we're looking at. Yeah. So you're just going to affect everybody?
Yep.
Like, she was the only one.
She was the rational. She was the rational person. And a lot of that, I think, was the combination of folklore and science. Like,
yeah, it really was.
Yeah, like there's like that weird balance between them. You had all of their like superstitions and like folklore. Like even the creature had like folklorish like aspects to it where they're like, oh, it's kind of like, a Leviathan. It's kind of like, there were these like ideas of it being a sea monster. And then you had the science behind it of, oh no, this is a parasite. This is what it's doing. This is how it does it. And like, it was interesting how they kind of like combined, but didn't combine, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the folklore and the science and all?
It goes hand in hand for this movie, because you get to see the different layers of the superstition and the different layers of the scientific facts. Because red hair being a bad omen, it's like, well, we didn't really have anything bad that happened. Cool. But then on the flip side, we're like, so you're ahead about this all this bad luck. So in a way, it was like, huh. So maybe she was the harbinger of like of all the things that happened to them. But for me, it's like, no, red hair does not mean bad omen. It just means it's a hair color. But scientifically, as someone who's scientific, who thinks about it, it's like, no, it's just y'all don't know what you're doing because the sea is unpredictable.
Yeah.
So even if I had blonde hair, even if like take her hair out of the equation, okay, shit's gonna happen either way.
Yeah.
Because the sea is unpredictable. It's
exactly
irrational. So if even if she didn't have like red hair, everything could have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But because of how Irish folklore works, or superstition works, it leads credence almost to her her bad omen. But at the same time, it doesn't, because you're like, if you took out the red hair,
if you just took her off the boat,
then everyone would be
because
like,
homeboy was going to make that decision no matter what.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
you just took her off the boat. You didn't have to have this whole scientific, portion of it. He's still going to make the same decision. They still be like trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
If anything, they would have come back and infected mainland because...
Yeah, if anything. I mean, unless somebody
because
figured,
she wasn't there.
No, yeah, because they would have been and then you'll have a whole new story. They all come back to the mainland, and next thing you know,
maybe that's a sequel.
And then you have like, this apocalypse in Ireland.
Right?
Trying to figure out what?
You know what? I think they should have gone back to England instead of going back to Ireland. Like, oh no, we ended up going to England instead because it was easier or quicker than getting back to Ireland. And like, leave the Irish alone. They've been tortured enough.
They have been, but if they didn't realize it was a parasite, we all know it was going to be in Ireland. But that's what happened in 28 days later, because England is such an island by itself. Nah, y'all quarantined. No one's leaving. We're going to have an armada around the island because y'all are infected with something. That would be a whole new story at that point.
Right?
Whole new story at that point.
Right?
Oh yeah. I mean, there is a list of. I was looking at this list of eco horrors, but some of them I'm kind of like, nah, that's not really eco horror. That's kind of.
Oh yeah. But okay, so speaking on the Irish and Ireland side of this all, this is a Irish-made film. It was set on the west coast of Ireland and rooted in Irish fishing culture and folklore. How do you think that works and makes a stand apart from a lot of American and British horror?
I mean, you don't have like, even if it would took place in Ireland, not Ireland, but in England. So because it's a seafaring type of movie, you could actually take sea fever and put it in any type of location, because there are a lot of seafarers out there. Because you have, in Maine, up in the north portion, you have those trawlers up there. In Alaska, you have those trawlers over there.
We have trawlers down here.
You have trawlers down here. So you could take that story and put it in any region, and it will make, a lot of sense. But because you have the whole Irish folklore in it, it makes it, intrinsically an Irish story.
Yeah.
But like I said, you could take that story and put it, in any other location. You can make it like, if you put it on the coast of Africa, you could use their, African culture and folklore, and then, it'd be a totally different story.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same story because you're adding, somebody else's culture and folklore.
But it'd still be a cool story.
It would still be a cool story. Because I would actually like to see an African...
Yeah. That would actually be really cool.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I was like, that'd be kind of cool.
Right?
Like, what type of folklore would you be using?
I mean, they got good folklore. There's some really cool folklore out of Africa.
Yeah.
Obviously, there has been more and more eco-horror in the last, I would say, 10, 15-ish years. Do you think that this is a prime example of that?
Oh yeah, because we as humans don't think about the environment as much as we should. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
like those who are like
Yeah.
militant, and those who are like,
Do
I'm
you
only
think
gonna be
this
here for
is
like 50
do,
years.
do you think that this film's going to actually have an impact on the way eco horror builds and grows as a subgenre?
Yeah, because it's more of for me, it's more it causes you to think a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what eco horror should do is cause you to think.
Yeah.
It should have like lingering effects after you watch it. Like
Mm-hmm.
after I watched it, I was like, I just sat there and I was like, hmm,
Mm-hmm.
hmm. I mean, the only like some eco horrors have done that for me, but this one has like sat with me, because I rewatch it.
Yeah.
And there's very little, movies I will rewatch, like eco horror movies I'll rewatch besides Jaws.
Yeah.
Love me some Jaws.
And I'm going to say this. I don't find Jaws to be eco as much as creature
Yeah.
feature, but
Yeah, it's more of a creature feature, but because it's
if you go based off of some of like sequels, some of the sequels have more environmental impacts on why Jaws is the way Jaws is.
Like even the writer was kind of like, I didn't mean to put the fear of sharks in people.
Right? So like that's not what this was supposed to be about.
Yeah, it's not, but it that's what it ended up being.
Yeah.
Like there was like another eco horror that caused me to actually sit and think. Oh, the Bay. It caused me to sit and
The
think
Bay.
about it, and I was like, man, we suck because we just pollute our oceans and cause things to like mutate. Because there's probably some mutated things that are in the ocean that because of what we did, and we discovered, oh, this is a new thing, and it's probably been there for a while. This is probably like a different version. Like,
Yeah.
and then there was like this weather movie that had Val Kilmer in it, Thaw or The Thaw, where this also like an eco horror where they found an old carcass of a mammoth or a polar bear or whatever, and it had parasites that was living in it. And when it started to thaw out, it started to like infect people.
Yeah.
And that causes me to think a lot because I'm like, we've been discovering a lot of things in the frozen tundra, and sometimes we just need to leave it there and not unthaw it to study it. Like the frozen worms. Was it the Russians that discovered that? I don't remember, but they saw it, they unthawed it, they revived it, and I'm like, no. This is how you get apocalypse.
Or like the people who are baking with yeast. Leave it alone. Why are you eating it?
The mummy. Yeah. I'm like, this is how you get apocalypse. You're gonna turn into a zombie.
This is why we have a zombie apocalypse, guys. This is why.
Y'all ate some mummy sourdough bread. That's all on you.
Right. I mean, even like,
I'm sorry. It's just the thought of scientists, making sourdough out of this.
Don't get me wrong. I love the creativity because without that creativity, we wouldn't have some of the things that we have today in medicine.
But
however,
sourdough out of like the Iceman's guts.
Yeah. However, have we ever thought of maybe we shouldn't do certain things? I want to know that there was at least one person on the team who's like, this might backfire on us. Like, I want to know that there was at least one person who's like, this may not be a wise idea.
Did they eat it? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
They did. Oh, yeah. It was the whole thing. I'm like,
I remember
what's wrong with you?
I remember reading they made sourdough out of it, and I was like, okay. I hope they didn't eat it. And then now that you told me they ate it, I'm like,
Oh, yeah. But coming back to Sea Fever, I think this is a great foundation for eco horror, especially since it has that little bit of a tie-in for creature feature. So it kind of sets it up. It sets it up for like the beautiful blurred lines that horror has.
Oh, yeah.
But it sets it up for success. It sets it up for there being solid things for people to be inspired by and to grow by. And I think down the road, this is something that's going to have a lasting effect. I think this is going to be almost a timeless movie when it comes to storytelling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because even though it's like a slow burn of a builder, you
Mhm.
still want to watch it over and over again.
Yeah. So at which point would you have been like, peace out, Cub Scout, I'm getting off of this thing?
As soon as I figured out that we were in the restricted zone, I was like, no, you went into the restricted zone, take my butt back. Like basically
I
before
mean, they technically didn't find that out until after people started getting infected.
yeah, it's true.
I would have done it as soon as we inspected the other boat.
Yeah, I'd be like, no,
I'd have
let's
been
go.
like, we got to go home. Let's go home now. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. We just, we, yeah, I probably would have gotten off then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably. But then again, she went underneath the water and saw like these enormous tentacle thingies on it.
Mhm.
Like once I saw that, like, hey, let's
We gotta
not.
go.
We need to go right now. It's like, why?
Right?
Because this thing,
Yep.
I saw
Yeah.
these tentacles,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't care if you think it's like a giant squid. At this point, we need to leave.
Yeah.
Because if it's a giant squid, I'm not gonna tangle with a giant squid. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
humpback whale. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
sperm whale. I'm not whatever whale that deals with them. I'm not whatever whale that deals with them. Okay?
Yeah.
No, we need to go because this
Mm-hmm.
thing might pull us down.
Yeah. Exactly. If we were to do like an aquatic double feature, what would you pair with this film? You know what? I'm gonna even take the aquatic portion out. If they were to do a horror double feature for this film, what other movie would you do with it?
It depends on like which one I watch first. If I would do like this ocean theme, I'll probably pair it with Harbinger Down.
Okay.
No, I take that back. I'll probably pair it with The Bay.
Okay.
But if I was doing just like, little tiny creatures, I'll probably do it with the Thaw or Thaw.
Okay.
Because, like I said, Thaw is basically about little tiny creatures that get unthawed and start attacking people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it
I
also begs the question of, do we want to isolate ourselves or do we want to get the hell out of Dodge, even though we might be infected or not?
yeah. I would either do Jaws or The Thing.
Yeah.
I think those would be my double features for this because I think it kind of works. Before we wrap this up, I'll ask one more question. Somebody described this as an X-Files episode and what it would look like before Mulder and Scully showed up. How perfect of a description is that for you? And do you think Mulder and Scully would have been able to figure this out?
I wouldn't say yeah, it probably will be a good description of an X-File episode because they've done a lot of weird things, but at the same time, would they probably figure it out? Probably not as quickly as, as you think they
Homegirl did?
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she brought her equipment. Are they going to bring their equipment with them?
I mean,
Are they just going to
no.
be, they're just going to be by themselves, just going on the ship and figure out stuff? I mean,
They're
if
going to be
they
calling
did,
the Lone Rangers.
yeah, probably call it the Lone Rangers. Now, if they, did the aftermath of it, ask, Ahmed questions and stuff like that and took samples, yeah, I could probably see that happening. I could see that, towards the end where if
Mm-hmm.
you were, wanting to get like a sort of like a mini update or something like that, I could see Mulder and Scully asking Ahmed what happened. Where was this happening? Do you
Mm-hmm.
have the exact location? And probably send out a team to see if we could discover this new species of
Yeah.
squid slash jellyfish slash whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think this was actually a great way to be like, okay, so before Mulder and Sully got there,
Yeah.
this is what happened.
And then
Yeah, absolutely.
And then after that, here we're going to talk to you, Ahmed.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you have like,
I don't think
Mulder.
I actually don't think that they would have figured it out
No,
because I think the creature would have gone back into the deep
yeah,
and they wouldn't have been able to find him.
no, because it didn't really, seem to surface as much because there was not much data on it.
No.
It seemed to like surface every once in a while
It's probably
and then
like
go
an
back.
every 100 years kind of thing.
Yeah, because that is a large creature if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it. So it probably it's like surface to like, do its thing, make some babies, and then go back down. Because I'm
Yeah.
like not sure if it's like acts like an octopus where, they lay their, like, the male fertilizes the women and then they die. And then the women, the females lay the eggs, take care of it for the year, and then they die.
Yeah.
So you don't know the lifespan or cycle of this jellyfish-like
Exactly.
creature, because you don't know, like, does it give birth to eggs and then die? Like, how many eggs
Right?
does it, like, give birth to before it dies?
Yeah, no, exactly. All right. So we're going to wrap up. We're going to do our final thoughts. We're going to do our skull ratings. We do 1 through 5 skulls. 1 because they tried. 5 because it's just that fan-fucking-tastic. With our final thoughts, how did you feel about the ending? Where does the ending land for you?
Okay, I wanted to learn more about the
Okay.
ending, because I'm like, did Ahmed go back to land, or
Mm-hmm.
was he just stuck there? And I know at one point the tentacle wrapped around his leg, but
Yeah.
did it infect him or not?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know, like, you
Did
don't know
Freya
how,
die?
huh?
Did Freya die?
Did the people who were unaffected live or die, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, it makes me think at the end, like,
Mm-hmm.
did he actually live? Did he get to go home to his baby and his wife?
Yeah.
And it it leaves it open to questions that you could probably answer yourself, or maybe think of, the ending yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wanted a little bit more. I wanted to see if Ahmed got home to his family. I wanted to see if he was infected or not, because, like I said, he got the tentacle wrapped around his ankle, and you're like,
Yeah.
did you get infected? Oh no!
Yeah. Yeah. How many skulls?
I'll give it a 5, because, like, I'll put that thing on rotation. Like, I'll watch it again tonight if I have time.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. This gets a 5. I can't think of a reason to deduct anything. So this is a 5 for me.
I mean, yeah, even though this was like a low budget film, they did so
Some of the
much,
best movies are low budget.
right? I mean,
Like they knocked it out of the park with this film. The writing was on point, the direction and cinematography was on point. The fact that they did so much practical effects, the fact that they made sure that there were people who understood what it was like to be a trawler fisherman were there. They knocked it out of the park. They dotted every I, they crossed every T, and they took the time to make sure that we, the viewers, had an experience when it came to this film. And so, bravo, Chef's Kiss. This is a great, great movie. I definitely think more people should see it.
yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
when I realized that no one had, like, when I talk about it with, with some
yeah.
people, they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, you need to watch this movie. Let's watch this
Thank
movie."
you. I mean, honestly, thank you for talking up this film. Like, absolutely love it. I'm so happy that we got to do this film.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, most people don't realize how good a low budget film could be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, until they watch it. Yeah, for 25, 2 million point,
2.5 million
euros. Yeah, it was
euros. Yeah.
actually pretty good, decent film. Because, like I said, it didn't really need that many effects to it to build the
Mm-hmm.
horror. I mean,
And I think this movie, it got released at a horrible time.
it did. It really did.
And I mean, it got released straight to video. It didn't get to spend too much time in the theaters, if really any time at all. I would love to see this get a re-release in theaters,
Oh, I would love to see it on the big
like a
screen.
proper release of it in theaters.
Yeah, I would love to see it on the big screen. I would love to see what I missed. I mean, you can sit here and watch it on TV all day long, but
Yeah.
sometimes when you have it on a big screen, you see more things than you thought you have.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this may be a hot take. I don't know. But I think a lot of the movies that came out in 2020 and kind of early 2021 who didn't get to have like a real theater experience, I think a lot of those movies should get a fair new chance in the theaters, because I think they got gypped. There was a lot of good movies that came out around that time that, you go and you look and you're like, well, why did it only gross this much? And you're like,
Right?
oh, it only grows that much because it came out in, May of 2020, where nobody was going to the movie theater.
Yeah. Like, you need to go ahead and re-release it. Just put it on the movie theaters to see how it does. Yay.
Exactly.
Because like you said, some movies were like really good. You're like,
yeah.
What happened?
Exactly. No, exactly. But our fellow horrorholics, thank you so much for sailing out into the deep, dark ocean with us this evening. Sea fever reminds us that some of the most terrifying things in the world are ones we can't see, can't fight, and can't outrun. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to make sure nobody else gets hurt. We have the best horrorholics / listeners in the horror game. You guys are so amazing, and we are so absolutely grateful for each and every single one of you. Every like, every share, every post, every comment, every subscription, like it means the world to us. I know I can't express how much we love and appreciate you guys for your support. It really does mean the world to us.
Love you.
You guys are the best horrorholics. But Karen, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Threads, formerly known as Twitter, TikTok.
Well, I am Spill Tea. You can find me on all the things at Spill Tea Wine Media Mind. And before we go, our favorite little horrorholics, what is your favorite aquatic horror film? Come tell us. We want to hear from you. Drop it in our comments, slide into our DMs, email us at earthstationboo@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, like, and share. It helps fellow horrorholics find us. And if you haven't already, please do so. We really appreciate it. Come join the conversation in our Discord or find all of our links in our link tree. And don't sleep on the merch store. It is fully updated. We got cups, we got mugs, we got bags, we got shirts and hoodies. We even
Stickers,
have sweatpants.
Pins.
We have sweatpants, guys, and they look super comfy. We have new episodes out every week. And so stay weird, stay spooky, our fellow horrorholics. That's a wrap for Earth Station Boo. Thanks for listening. Follow, share, and find all our links in our link tree. Until next time, stay spooky.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.